Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator Lee, also for holding this hearing. Thanks to the witnesses for being here. This is such an important topic. Mr. Satterfield, let me just pick up where Senator Blumenthal left off. Can I just ask you a fundamental question? Are teenagers safe on any of your platforms?
Senator, we're working really hard to make that the case.
So they're not now?
Senator, we are investing a lot in safety and integrity across all of our platforms. We've invested billions of dollars.
And are you concerned, though, that teenagers are currently subject to all kinds of potential predators, the social effects? I mean, you're saying you hope that they'll be safe on the platforms. Are they not safe now?
Senator, I think it's our responsibility to invest the resources that we need to make sure that these things don't happen. That's why we're investing billions of dollars in protecting the integrity of our platforms.
By these things, do you mean things like this? Let me read you a few quotes. 32% of teen girls said that when they felt bad about their bodies, Instagram made them feel worse. Quote, "We make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 girls," end quote. New quote, "Teens blame Instagram for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression. This reaction was unprompted and consistent across all groups." Or how about this? "Teens who struggle with mental health say that Instagram makes it worse." Or how about this? "Social comparison is worse on Instagram." Or how about this? "Aspects of Instagram exacerbate each other to create a perfect storm when it comes to body issues, identity, depression, anxiety." That doesn't sound like a very safe platform to me. Those, of course, are all from your own internal research. What do you have to say about that?
Senator, again, these aren't issues that I work on, but we do have teams that are working across all of those issues: body image, well-being, and so forth. We're investing, we're doing research like this so that we can identify gaps and address them, and we're going to continue to do so.
Will you make the research public?
Senator, again, generally the way that we approach research is that we keep it confidential to encourage free and frank discussion about it internally. Keeping it confidential actually
sounds like a no to me.
Ask hard questions about these really important issues.
I haven't been in the Senate that long, but this sounds like that's a no. Let me try again. You've already done the research. This research is completed. You've done it. You know the results. You know the data. You've actively misled Congress for years now. You've deliberately misled senators as recently as just a month ago. Senator Blumenthal was just putting on the record. You have the research. Will you make it public? Yes or no?
Senator, I'd strongly reject those characterizations. The issue of greater transparency.
Let's try answering my question. Will you release the research? Yes or no?
Senator, it's something we're looking into, how to provide greater transparency with appropriate context around the research.
Right. What would the appropriate context be exactly? What's the context for 32% of teen girls saying that they feel worse when they use Instagram? Is there context I'm missing there? What is it that parents need to know? What's the context exactly? I'm intrigued by that statement.
Well, Senator, I think it's a broader view of what the potential impact of services could be on folks. And
maybe the things that Instagram does that's positive that outweighs all of the terrible effects that it has on teen girls and others. Is that what you're talking about, your benefits? Let me ask you this. How much money does Instagram make for Facebook every year?
Senator, I don't know the answer to that.
How much money do you make from teens being addicted to Instagram every year?
Senator, I wouldn't agree with that characterization.
How much money do you make from your teen users every year?
Senator, I don't know the answer to that question.
I bet it's a lot. I'll give it to you for the record. I think we all know what's really going on here. You won't release the research because this is a cash cow for you. And you won't answer our questions because you make a gob of money on this. I mean, it's the whole reason Mark Zuckerberg wanted to get Instagram in the first place, right? I mean, back in 2012, Mark Zuckerberg wrote to his own chief financial officer that buying Instagram will give us time to integrate their dynamics before anybody else can get close to their scale. Oh, we know why Facebook bought Instagram. It was to get rid of a competitor, to gobble up all the data. And now they've done that. And now it's making teenagers sick and destroying their mental health. But, hey, it's lucrative. It's amazing. How about this? Will you commit to suspending any efforts to develop the Instagram Kids product that would target children under the age of 13?
Senator, we know that tweens are online, and we want them to have an experience that is a good one, that is a healthy one. That
Like the one that teenage girls are having on Instagram right now? That kind of an experience?
Senator, respectfully, these are issues that we take incredibly seriously, that we're investing in. There is no more important priority than the safety and well-being of the people who use our products.
I really can't believe you're saying that. I mean, really, I've listened to Facebook and these other big tech companies before these committees for years, and I guess just 2 years, although it feels like 20. And you always dissemble, you always mislead, but I can't believe that given the research that you have conducted, that you can sit there and say that teens' health and security and safety is your top priority. Clearly, it's not. And you won't share any of the data. You're stonewalling every member of this committee. What about this? Will you at least commit to keeping behavioral advertising out of any product that a kid can access?
Senator, we think that advertising is a potentially very valuable. We have made changes with respect to teens under 18, limitations around the ability of advertisers to use our products to reach them.
So let's see. You won't reveal the research. You won't restrict your advertising. You won't pull back on plans to target children under the age of 13 with this platform, which you know is toxic for so many teenagers, especially female teenagers, and yet their health and well-being is your top priority. Have I got that right? Did I miss any part?
Senator, I'm not sure I said any of that. What I would say is, again, these are incredibly important issues to the company. We're committed to having a constructive dialogue with Congress about them, and we're going to continue to invest heavily in them at the company.
Well, I'm sure you'll invest heavily in it. I have absolutely no doubt about that. That, I think, is probably the truest statement you've made today. I have no doubt you will continue to pour money into Instagram as long as you can extract money from it and from the teenagers whom you are, quite frankly, exploiting. Here's just a final question for you. Why should you be able to advertise to teenagers at all? I mean, given all the dangers inherent in collecting their data, which is what you're doing on Instagram, why should you be able to advertise to teenagers? Why shouldn't we prohibit that?
Senator, as you know, advertising supports our service. We do think that additional protections for teenagers are appropriate. We've put those in place. We're going to continue to look into ways to keep teenagers safe on our services while being able to support them with advertising.
Mr. Satterfield, the truth is, you and I both know that your product isn't safe. Your platforms aren't safe, they're dangerous. You know it, we know it. You've stonewalled us, you've stonewalled the public. It's time for some accountability, and all I can say is accountability is coming. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Hawley. Before I turn it over to Senator Ossoff, I just want to, something when I was asking my questions that could lend some information to you here. Facebook publicly reported that last quarter, its revenue, advertising revenue per user, which I presume includes teens, in the U.S. and Canada was $51.58 per user. So I guess just to follow up, Mr. Satterfield, do you have the breakdown for teens versus the rest that we could get, maybe not today, but later?
Senator, the only breakdown I'm aware of is the one you referenced, which is the average revenue per user.
And does that include Instagram? Is it company-wide?
Senator, I believe it's company-wide.
Okay. All right. And Senator Hawley compared it to some of the other countries, which were a lot less than our country. So we'll have to be looking into that, how much revenue they make. With that, I'll turn it over to Senator Ossoff.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. First question, please, for you, Ms. Kolklischer. Does Axiom or any other IPG company provide services to entities outside of the United States based upon or linked to data about U.S. persons?